It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations. We cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Cruz.
Welcome in. You know, when you think of sportsman shows and expos, you generally think of these occurring during the winter months when hunting and fishing opportunities become limited, and going to a convention center and checking out the latest and greatest when it comes to fishing and hunting or attending a few seminars, well, looks pretty darn appealing, you have to admit. Now we are seeing a new trend. Some of these shows are happening in the fall. One example, brought to us through the Fishing Wire, is the Fisherman Magazine show, which will once again be held at the Huntington Hilton in Melville, New York on Thursday, September 22nd. This 2022 show will have a new format which covers surf, inshore, and offshore fishing as well as Northeast surf casting. The show will also host 9 different seminar slots composed of many knowledgeable experts throughout the night. It will also include a panel featuring Captain Dave Marciano from the hit television show Wicked Tuna. Also assembled are various other seminars that include surf, offshore, light tackle, inshore, and fly fishing. On the show floor, you'll come across over 100 exhibitors that will feature local shops, plug makers, organizations, groups, clothing companies, and national manufacturers. The doors open at 6 p.m., the event runs through 11, and the first 500 attendees will get a goodie bag filled with all sorts of fishing-related items. Find out more and buy your ticket today at thefisherman.com. Another show, this one running for multiple days, is taking place in Branson, Missouri, October 20th through the 22nd. This one is the 4th Annual Crappie Expo and is being put on by Mr. Crappie himself, Wally Marshall, who is actually going to join us today on the show to tell you not only about this expo that's all about crappie fishing, but also about a big money payout crappie fishing tournament that's being held in conjunction with this, and the world's largest crappie fish fry that takes place the final day of the expo on the 22nd, and the chance for you as an attendee to not only eat a whole bunch of crappie, but win up to $10,000 and some great prizes. In addition to this, there's going to be another big money and cash prize bass tournament taking place out west in October too. The location, Lake Mojave near Laughlin, Nevada. The event, that would be the Western Outdoor News 40th Annual U.S. Open, happening October 10th through the 12th, where 100 boats with pro and amateur anglers on board will be fishing for smallmouth and largemouth in hopes of winning a $68,000 Bass Cat boat and an $80,000 first place check. Billy Egan, the tournament director for this big event, will join us in just a few minutes to tell you more about this tournament and about the fishery that is Lake Mojave. We've got another great guest for you this week, too. That would be Josh Warren with WorkSharp. He's going to share some great hacks to help you sharpen your knives, even the ones with serrated blades, and help us out with a little giveaway we're going to be doing this weekend, too. Before we talk to Josh, though, let's talk about the hunting season ahead. If you need a new rifle or shotgun, you might want to consider a lever action model. And if you do, you'll definitely want to go to henryusa.com, where you'll find over 200 different models available from Henry Repeating Arms. The lever action models, they are beautiful. They've got a classic look right out of the Old West. They're very functional, too. They shoot straight, they're built rugged, and every one is made right here in the USA. Not only that, but they come with a lifetime satisfaction guarantee. So go on over to henryusa.com, take a look at some of the models available for the hunting you want to do this season. Check out the dealer locator to find one near you. If you have any questions, just ask the award-winning customer service staff. They'll be happy to help. And when you do chat with them, don't forget to ask for your free decals and catalog too. The website again, henryusa.com. Next up on America Outdoors Radio, we haven't done a giveaway for a little while, and I thought we would do one this weekend. In fact, we're giving away not one, not two, but 3 guided field sharpeners from WorkSharp. And with us here from WorkSharp to tell you more about them is Josh Warren. Josh, great to have you back on the show.
John, I'm happy to be here and happy to give away some knife sharpeners.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is probably the one I find myself using the most when it comes to sharpening pocket knives, hunting knives. It just is really handy, and they just do such a great job. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit more about the guided field sharpener?
So that you hit it on the head. The guided field sharpener is one of my favorites too. It has at the core 2 diamond plates, fine and a coarse, which are right next to 2 angle guides set at 20 degrees. So you have an angle guide built into this handheld sharpener, holding your knife at 20 degrees so you can develop a consistent sharpening angle. You sharpen on the coarse, refine on the fine side of the diamond, and then you step into ceramic. And so there's a ceramic cone, also with an angle guide. And finally, you can strop on the leather strop, which also has an inverted guide because, you're stropping backwards across the strop. It leaves you with a razor sharp knife. You can touch up a knife in the field, even if if it's almost at its last leg, you can bring that knife back to hair shaving sharp. It's really incredible and a great tool for your pack.
Yeah, and it fits, like you said, right in your pack or even in your pocket or the glove box, too. That's where I usually keep one, is in the glove box of my truck. And it's just perfect for sharpening knives, tools, fish hooks, broadheads. I have a question, though. The leather strop, I've seen movies, usually old westerns, and I've actually seen barbers use a leather strop to sharpen blades, but I've never understood how leather sharpens a blade. Why don't you explain that?
So I think in a lot of this old time, the leather is used on its own without any sort of a compound. And what it does is it's a high density but not completely rigid surface, and it's pushing back into place any micro burrs that have been, through the use of the knife and downward force on the edge, micro burrs get pushed from one side to the other, which, kind of fan out, and you can imagine like, teeth on a saw. And so what the leather strop is doing is pushing those back into alignment with the true apex of the knife. Now, when WorkSharp sells a strop, we also equip it with a compound, which is a micro-abrasive, and so it's actually doing a little bit of polishing at the same time, which just provides that extra for the razor sharpness that you're really looking for.
All right. Well, folks, if you want to win one of the 3 guided field sharpeners we are giving away, and these retail for what, about $35? Is that right?
Yep.
All right. If you want to win one, here's what you do. 2 ways to do it. You can shoot us an email through our website at americaoutdoorsradio.com. Just let us know what station you're listening to and what city and state you're from, and you are entered for a chance to win. You can do the same thing on our Facebook page, too, at America Outdoors Radio. Just like and follow the page, then go to the post thread where we're doing the giveaway. Give us that same information. Let us know what station you're tuning into today and where you live, and you are entered for a chance to win one of the 3 guided field sharpeners we are giving away after our last broadcast this weekend. Josh, I've got a lot of other questions I want to ask of you today. Would you mind sticking around for the bottom of the hour of our show? Because you got something really cool going on that is basically a treasure hunt. And I think folks want to hear about this, the WorkSharp Quest 2.0.
I'd love to tell you about it. What a fun adventure.
All right, stick around, folks. First off, enter for this giveaway. And again, you can do so by email through our website at americaoutdoorsradio.com or look for the post thread on our Facebook page at America Outdoors Radio and just let us know what station you're listening to today and what city and state you're from for a chance to win one of these 3 guided field sharpeners from WorkSharp. Then stick around for this show and hear about this treasure hunt being put on by WorkSharp.
Hunt of a Lifetime is a nationwide nonprofit organization dedicated to providing hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under who suffer from life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. These adventures make big differences in the lives of those who participate in them, and in many cases are literally a dream come true that brings hope and therapy to their lives. Find out more, get involved, or donate today at huntofelifetime.org. That's huntofelifetime.org. huntofelifetime.org.
Country hunters and anglers. You may have heard of us, but what are we about? BHA is the voice for your wild public lands, waters, and wildlife. From national level policy work to boots on the ground projects like public land cleanups, we work across North America to uphold the legacy of our public lands and waters, as well as your opportunity to hunt, fish, and recreate on them. Stand up for public lands and waters and become a BHA member today. Visit backcountryhunters.org.
We've been telling you about Sportsman's Cove Lodge in Southeast Alaska for a while now, and there's a reason. They are the only Alaska lodge we talk about in this show. It's because they're truly Alaska's best lodge. The adventure starts with a float plane ride from Ketchikan, after which you'll get the chance to experience some of the best hospitality, food, and wonderful people you'll ever meet. Wildlife is abundant, from bears and deer to eagles and whales, and let's not forget the reason you're here, the fishing. Halibut, salmon, lingcod, rockfish, true cod, and more. It's all waiting for you in abundance at Sportsman's Cove Lodge. Book your trip today at alaskasbestlodge.com. That's alaskasbestlodge.com for Sportsman's Cove Lodge.
Ready to step up to a quality-built rifle or shotgun that's a true classic? Check out Henry Repeating Arms, American-made. There's over 200 models to choose from in a variety of finishes and calibers for hunters and target shooters. Many of these are lever-action models with a look right out of the Old West. Don't be deceived, though. Henry Repeating Arms are modern, rugged, accurate, reliable, and have a lifetime guarantee. Find out more and order a free catalog today at henryusa.com. That's henryusa.com.
You're back in with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We've got Billy Egan on the line. He's with Western Outdoor News, and he puts together tournaments that take place up and down the West Coast, and we've got a really big one coming up at Lake Mojave. It is the U.S. Open. Billy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Major League Fishing and bass really don't have much of a presence out west, so this is kind of like the big tournament for Western anglers, isn't it?
Yeah, for the U.S. Open, this is the 40th anniversary of the U.S. Open, and for 39 years it's been held at Lake Mead, but everybody knows what Lake Mead's, current situation is with the low water and no launch ramps. So unfortunately this year we're not going to be able to have the event there, but fortunately we've partnered with the LTC and Visit Laughlin to bring the U.S. Open to Lake Mojave this year. It'll be the same field, big, 57-mile long lake with bigger fish in it. So the bag should be a little bit heavier than typical Lake Mead sack during the U.S. Open. But yeah, we're looking forward to getting out there. September is off limits the 19th through the 30th. So guys are going to give the lake a break at Mojave from September 19th to 30th, and then they can start fishing prior to the event the 1st through the 8th, and the event will start October 10th. There are no rules prior to the tournament. We've abolished our official practice periods, not only on national park lakes, but all of our events, because it just gets too hectic trying to find out who blew a 5-mile-an-hour zone or didn't wear their life jacket when the big motor is on. It's not that we're not trying to make sure these guys are safe, but one of my things is if you can't police it, why have it? So they can constitutionally fish between October 1st and the 8th prior to the U.S. Open starting on October 10th, which is where the tournament rules kick in. It's a 3-day event with pros and amateurs, and we are a shared weight format. Nobody else out here in the West does shared weight format. And to explain that to your listeners real quick, it's basically the pros and the co's and there's a couple different names for the amateurs. So you got co-angler, you got amateur, and you got AAA. So we randomly pair the pros each day with a separate co-angler of the event, and when they go fishing, they're fishing together for the best 5 fish combined. So you can share the front of the boat. The AAA can run the trolling motor if the pro asks them. It's a team event for that particular day, and then the next day they'll get somebody completely different and try to repeat that for 3 days and find out who might take home the Bass Cat Cougar FTD worth about $85,000 with the Mercury 250 on it. Plus, we're somewhere around 200 boats right now, somewhere around $80,000+ for first place. So not a bad payday.
No, not a bad payday at all. And this is really unique that you have the shared weight with the angler and co-angler, especially since you're having a different co-angler every day. Do the anglers like this?
They like it a lot. I mean, a lot of the times when people call me for the first time to enter one of our open tournaments, and WON Bass has been running tournaments for 40 years now, first thing I'll tell them is you'll have the time of your life and you'll make friends that you'll keep for the rest of your life at these events, because it's just a shared weight format bodes better for the experience, not only for the pro, but also for the amateur. I mean, in today's market, you can't get a guide for one day for about $600, which is the same as you're going to pay to fish with 3 pros at the U.S. Open. And, the opportunity at the U.S. Open is to get a Rick Clunn or a Josh Bertrand or, a 3-time U.S. Open champion, a Clifford Perch, or even at this year, returning a 3-time U.S. Open champion Michael Folkstad's coming back at 82 years old. So the opportunity to fish with some of the legends out there and some of these national pros, really bodes well for these guys and these amateurs that want to, 1, get out and just fish with a legend like that, and 2, learn something from them, because the pros are coaching them throughout the day to obviously help them catch fish, which in turn helps the pro, because with a shared weight format, if that AAA in the back of the boat's dragging a worm while he's throwing a vibrating jig or something else and catches a 5-pounder, that helps the team.
I love this. Absolutely love this. And tell you what, I definitely want to be a co-angler at one of these events. This sounds fantastic. Who are some of the favorites going into the tournament this year?
Some of the favorites going into the tournament, well, you've got a lot of the keyboard warriors out there saying that the desert guys are going to have some advantage. Justin Kerr won our Mojave Open in March this year. Justin's won every tournament we have, including the U.S. Open. He just hasn't been able to do it on his home lake at Lake Havasu yet at our Arizona Open. So Kerr is a strong runner there. Roy Hawk, who's a great desert angler and has 2 U.S. Opens to his title, including last year's title on our 2-day event that we had at Lake Mead due to a wind cancellation last year. And you've got Timmy Klinger and some of the other guys like Frankie Mendez and obviously Josh Bertrand, and Clifford Perch has already got 3 under his belt. But anybody can do it. It's a humbling experience fishing the U.S. Open, being able to keep track of fish for 3 days and really be able to compete at that level without making any mistakes for 3 days is what's going to end you up on that podium at the end of the tournament.
Well, I got to meet Justin Kerr at the Bassmaster Classic in 2021 in Texas, and I would not bet against him, that's for sure. Let's talk about Lake Mojave as a fishery. Are we talking largemouth and smallmouth and maybe spotted bass too, or what kind of bass are in this lake, and what's it going to take to be a winner there?
Well, Lake Mojave is a very unique lake. It is part of the Colorado River chain. It's just downriver from Lake Mead. But for water purposes, the lake never fluctuates more than 5 feet. So it's a very healthy lake. It's very clear. It's a desert lake. On any given day, you can see 35 to 40 feet, if not further than that. It has largemouth. It has smallmouth. I think the record right now is somewhere around 6-pound smallmouth for that lake, and there's been many that have been caught in the 5.5 pound range. You've got largemouth bass. There are no spotted bass. We do have striper in Lake Mojave, as well as other game fish like bluegill and catfish, all those fun fish. But the size of fish at Mojave are typically about a pound to a pound and a half larger than you would find at Lake Mead. I mean, Lake Mead, you're struggling to catch a 13-inch fish. That's the length of our fish at our tournaments is 13 inches mouth closed. You're catching all day long 12 inchers that weigh maybe a pound at Lake Mead. And at Lake Mojave, it's going to be a different story. Now, October's a different time of year for Mojave, but those fish are still there. They're still active. And I was out there recently, and one of the neat things that I saw is how healthy that lake is we were fishing a big bowl area with some submerged reefs, and what we thought we saw was bait fish dimpling along the surface and making some ruckus around us. And we were like, oh my gosh, we found the pot of gold here. There's got to be fish that are eating on these shad. And after about an hour of fishing and not getting a bite, I really slowed down one of my presentations right underneath the boat and found out that they were thousands of baby bass.
Oh, wow.
Thousands of them all over the place.
Where's the weigh-in going to take place if folks want to get in on that?
Well, very unique. This year, we're doing our Sponsors Row, an induction of Hall of Fame anglers, and our meeting at the East Center, which is located at the Edgewater Casino. That is open to the public to come meet all the anglers Sunday between 2 and 5 p.m. Sunday, October 9th, come meet Rick Clunn, all your favorite Western pros, meet all the sponsors. But the weigh-ins are going to happen at Catherine's Landing, just about 15 minutes away from Laughlin. We still have pro spots available and co-angler spots available. If you've been wanting to make the U.S. Open your bucket list item, make it happen this year.
Oh, it sounds like a great opportunity to me. Again, it's the U.S. Open, Lake Mojave, October 10th through the 12th. Head on over there and catch one of the weigh-ins, or better still, go ahead and sign up and fish this great event. Billy, thanks for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
Thanks for having me, and you guys have a great day.
Come explore the Dalles in Oregon for outdoors fun. Hike amongst the wildflowers, bike our riverfront trail, or visit the Gorge Discovery Center where you can enjoy a live raptor display, or even check out our National Neon Sign Museum. But don't forget the fishing. We've got salmon, steelhead, bass, walleye, and monster-sized sturgeon waiting just for you. When the day is done, tell those tall tales at one of our wineries, breweries, or restaurants and plan your next adventure. Find out more at explorethedalles.com.
Ready to step up to a quality-built rifle or shotgun that's a true classic? Check out Henry Repeating Arms, American-made. There's over 200 models to choose from in a variety of finishes and calibers for hunters and target shooters. Many of these are lever-action models with a look right out of the Old West. Don't be deceived, though. Henry Repeating Arms are modern, rugged, accurate, reliable, and have a lifetime guarantee. Find out more and order a free catalog today at henryusa.com. That's henryusa.com.
You're back in with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We've got a very special guest on the line. It's Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie himself. And the topic is the 4th Annual Crappie Expo coming up October 20th through the 22nd at the Branson Convention Center in Branson, Missouri. Wally, it is a privilege and pleasure to have you on the air.
Man, I'll tell you what, I've been cleaning fish all morning long just for you guys. I'll tell you, last year we had over 1,200 pounds of crappie, and man, I'm telling you what, it's going to be one of the biggest, world's largest crappie fries ever this year. But you want to talk a little bit more about Crappie Expo, man, fire away.
Yep, let's start off with the expo, then we'll talk about the Invitational Classic, and then we'll finish up with the fish fries. So the Crappie Expo, this is something that you developed and you have grown over the last 4 years. What are folks going to find there?
Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to find the greatest and latest in crappie fishing tackle, because everybody was always from the beginning going, Wally, why are you doing this in the fall? Why are you doing crappie? Why don't you do it in the spring? Well, all the logistics from all the major companies in America, you take your Humminbird, you take Vexus Boats, you take Express, you take all the major boat lines, and Humminbird and Minn Kota and all those folks, they can't come because of all of the bass shows, the Bassmasters Classic, Major League Fishing, and you name it, all over the country that they have to get to. And now in the fall, they're looking for something to do, and so are people looking for a show to go to, and that's the Crappie Expo. Crappie Expo was a dream of mine 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I got a call from Hot Springs from Steve Harrison, and he goes, "Hey, man, have you ever thought about doing something for the crappie world?" And I said, "Man, have you been sleeping in my dreams or peeking in?" Because, you know, I've done all the major crappie tournaments. I do the Mr. Crappie products and the Wally Marshall products out there. But Crappie Expo is for anglers and crappie enthusiasts to come out and check out the latest and greatest. They'll get to see all the new products before they get to the box stores next year.
Oh, wow.
Not only do they get to see them, but they get to buy them.
How many vendors do you expect to have there? How many exhibitors?
We're right now at 109.
So, Wally, in addition to the 109 exhibitors, and I know you're going to have more before the show opens, are you going to have some seminars and speakers and other activities?
Correct. Hummingbird and Minn Kota is going to be doing seminars, and also we have some rod and reel companies that's going to be doing crappie seminars throughout the weekend, and we may have a couple of more seminars on actually cooking crappie, also teaching people how to do that with RV Cajun cookers and stuff like that. Well, we don't need to forget, we've got a concert at 1 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. We got Mary Heather Hickman, an up-and-coming singer from Nashville, and we got Jason D. Williams on Saturday. That's Jerry Lee Lewis's boy, and he can play a piano like no tomorrow. Also, we're giving away $10,000 on Friday, and we're giving away $10,000 on Saturday to one lucky person at the Crappie Expo. You must be present to win. If you don't answer the bell on Friday, we're going to take the $10,000 from Friday and put it on Saturday, and one lucky person can win $20,000.
Well, I think you've got me and a whole bunch of other people hooked on attending the Crappie Expo. Again, the date's the 20th through the 22nd, but that's just one thing that's going on. Now, at nearby Table Rock Lake, you've got your 4th annual Mr. Crappie Invitational Classic. This is billed as the richest crappie tournament in the world. How many competitors are going to be there, and what kind of money is at stake?
We're going to have right at 100 boats in this event. We're going to be a little shy of 100, but I'll tell you what, they're fishing for $100,000 first place.
Wow. I don't care whether you're talking bass or crappie, that is one heck of a paycheck.
Hey, it'll take you off hamburgers and put you on steak.
I love it. Who are some of the anglers that have been invited that are pretty big names?
Well, I tell you what, we got Steve Coleman and Ronnie Katz. We got Jeff Hyman. We've got Randy Pope, which is his partner. They came in second. We got Jerry Hancock, Paul O'Beer. We've got Mike Shepard and Tony Shepard, which won the first one ever in Hot Springs. And then also we got Jeff Larch coming back and his partner, Jared Fiat, from last year. They'll be back. These guys are just phenomenal anglers, and everybody can come out on Saturday because we're having Meet the Pros, and that's what people like to get is access to the pros. And so we're having a Meet the Pros day because we're not having a tournament on Saturday because the tournament is over on Friday. So Championship Friday, you can see it right there on the stage at the convention center there in Branson. You can watch the live weigh-in and see the team that wins $100,000.
And for the other 2 days, I understand that you can go to the state park at Table Rock Lake and watch the weigh-in there?
That's correct. The tournament actually starts at 7 a.m., 6:45-ish, on Wednesday, the 19th, at the State Park Marina there on Table Rock Lake. If you want to come out and watch the blast-off, or if you kind of want to come watch the weigh-in, it will be at 3 p.m. each day will be the weigh-in, and then that will be for 2 days. And then the third day, when we cut down to 25 teams or 25 anglers, those 25 will get a piece of that $300,000, and they will be moving on to weigh-in at the Branson Convention Center. And, man, it's going to be a nail-biter.
Oh, exciting stuff. All right, one other thing we've got to talk about. You alluded to this in the first place, and that is the world's largest crappie fry taking place at the Crappie Expo, the Convention Center, on the 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It sounds like we might want to bring our appetite for this one.
Well, I'll tell you what, how much crappie can you eat for free?
I think there's some people are going to be eating a lot of crappie for free. And I understand you got hush puppies to go with it.
Oh, yeah, we've got the Savannah Hush puppies coming with that, and we got 700 pounds of French fries, and then we've got all the crappie are cooked in Riceland rice bran oil. This oil cooks the cleanest, has the highest smoke point of any oil on the market, including peanut oil. If you've never tried it, it's Riceland rice bran, B-R-A-N, oil. And it is amazing. It's super light. When you pull a French fry out of the grease and lay it on a napkin, it don't even leave a spot.
Wow.
So that's what I'm impressed with their oil. But this fish fry will feed about 5,000 people in 3 hours.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds amazing. How much does it cost to attend the expo?
It costs $10 for adults, and 15 and under get in free. And you need to save your ticket, because we're going to put it into the hopper and we're going to call your name out, and we've got a lot of giveaways. We actually going to give away some big pellet grills. We're going to give away some RV Cajun cookers. We're going to give away some ice chests. There's all kinds of stuff at 5 o'clock each day that we'll be giving away to somebody there at the expo. But you must be present to win any of it. That's what makes it so good, is because last year the lady we called out to win the 10 grand wasn't there, and I gave her a phone call.
Oh, no.
She said, "Don't tell my husband." I said, "Ma'am, I don't know your husband." So anyway, it was kind of embarrassing for her, but hey, everybody in the audience had a good kick out of that. They go, "No, you're not going to call her." I said, "Yeah, I am." And it made it a lot of fun. But Crappie Expo is fun for the whole family. We've got stuff for kids to do. We've got lures. We got all kinds of stuff, little giveaways for the kiddos. So they need to come out and learn more about crappie fishing or just fishing in general. And, hey, you can always learn from the pros at these seminars and learn about your electronics from Humminbird. I mean, they've got the new Mega Live and the Target, and they got all that stuff. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great seminar if you're afraid to buy or purchase a new depth finder. But let me tell you what, this day and time with Mega Live, the crappie better get under a rock, because I can find them.
Folks, this is a can't-miss event if you are a crappie aficionado. Again, it is the 4th Annual Crappie Expo. Make plans to attend at the Convention Center in Branson, Missouri, October 20th through the 22nd, and bring your appetite for the fish fry on the 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Find out more at crappieexpo.com. That's crappieexpo.com. Wally, thank you again. Good luck with the expo.
Hey, thank you very much.
Hunting and fishing are exercises in hope. Before you head into the woods, you hope to tag out on a deer you'll have to field dress. Before you make that first cast, you hope for a big fish to clean and fillet. When your hopes are realized, you'll need a sharp knife. Whether you sharpen that blade on a power sharpener in the shop or a manual sharpener in the field, WorkSharp has the tool for you. Look for WorkSharp products in sporting goods stores near you or online at WorkSharpTools.com.
Campers, adventure seekers, hunters, and foodies. No matter the lifestyle, we can all agree on one thing. Great food and great people are worth remembering. At Camp Chef, we don't just make grills. We create each product knowing that a warm meal is always better when it's shared with those we love. Learn more about Camp Chef grills, smokers, and portable cooking equipment at campchef.com. That's campchef.com for a better way to cook outdoors.
Why book at Sportsman's Cove Lodge?
Why is Alaska like no other place on Earth? It hasn't changed in thousands of years.
From the way you get here on a float plane to the way you go out with the guides and the boats, it's just a professional experience.
And I said, this is as good as it gets. I said, if you can't catch fish here, you can't catch fish anywhere.
Your experience with us will leave you speechless.
Book now at alaskasbestlodge.com.
Hunt of a Lifetime is a nationwide nonprofit organization dedicated to providing hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under who suffer from life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. These adventures make big differences in the lives of those who participate in them, and in many cases are literally a dream come true that brings hope and therapy to their lives. Find out more, get involved, or donate today at huntofelifetime.org. That's huntofelifetime.org. huntofelifetime.org.
You're back in with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We've got Josh Warren back on the line with WorkSharp. As we told you earlier in the show, we're giving away 3 guided field sharpeners, each one worth $35. They are perfect for sharpening knives, tools, fish hooks, and broadheads. Fit right in your pocket or in the glove box of your car or truck. And if you want to win one, all you have to do is go to our website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com and shoot us an email. Just let us know what station you're tuning into today and what city and state you live in. Or do the same thing through our Facebook page at America Outdoors Radio on Facebook. Make sure you like and follow our page too. Josh, great to have you back.
I'm happy to be here and really happy to talk about the WorkSharp Quest.
Well, I want to ask about this. This sounds really cool. The WorkSharp Quest 2.0. It's essentially a treasure hunt where folks can win some really cool prizes. Tell our listeners more about it.
Yeah, so the WorkSharp Quest is exactly a treasure hunt. We have packed 35 boxes full of loot, we'll call it. You know, WorkSharp obviously throws in several sharpeners to each box, but we also include our limited edition Benchmade Bug-Out knife. We have goodies in there from Leatherman, from Costa sunglasses, from Camp Chef. There's a limited edition hat from WorkSharp. And each person who hides a box usually puts in some additional swag from their own channel. And all of this gets packed into a big Yeti Go box, which I think in and of itself has a retail value near $250. So this is quite the prize that we stash on public land all over the United States. There's 35 boxes that are being hidden by friends of WorkSharp. You know, I got to hide one of them on a backpacking fly fishing trip earlier this spring, but you know, we'll send boxes off to the East Coast to friends out there to hide, and they're finding great spots on public land and stashing these for you guys to find.
So how do folks figure out where these boxes are?
Well, this is we'll call it a modern treasure hunt. And so instead of, you know, a map that leads you to a cave where you find painted on the wall the next clue that leads you to the Sea of Cortez, this is, you know, you can find these boxes by following WorkSharp Tools on Instagram or by signing up with an email at worksharptools.com/quest. Both of those will keep you updated about all the clues that we're sharing, and you'll be able to essentially put the pieces together, and if there's a box in your area, then you can head out and have a good shot at finding this.
So how do you know when people find them? Do they contact you and say, I found it?
Yeah, on each box there's actually a QR code that links to a unique landing page that's created for each box. And on that page is just a button that says, I found the box. And as soon as that's marked, it sends out an email to me and another guy on our team, and then everyone who's signed up to receive notifications about Quest clues via their email. So we then update our social page right away, and everyone gets an email right away saying that the box was found.
Oh, this is super fun. Now, I understand the one that you planted has been found. Is that correct?
That's correct. It was, I don't want to give away too much of where it was, but it was in a fairly remote area in northeast Oregon. And I was impressed with the guy who found it. And, you know, he basically ran down most of the trail. It was about 5 miles in on a fairly remote trail, and beat another couple of people that he saw on the trail down to where the box was. So it got a little competitive.
Oh, wow. That is super cool. So what are some of the regions where there are still some of these prizes available?
You know, we broke the United States down into roughly 10 regions. Alaska and Hawaii were each their own, and then 8 regions across the U.S., you know, like the Northwest, Southwest, the Rocky Mountains, so on, moving across the country. And I believe we have pieces almost in every region left. Our Midwest might be wrapped up at this point, but, you know, the Rocky Mountain region, the Southwest, we do have a box coming in Hawaii, and I believe Alaska coming up. And we should have boxes in the Northeast and I think some heavy hitters in the Southeast.
Okay. Well, definitely go to WorkSharpTools.com and check out the WorkSharp Quest 2.0. If you're looking for something to do this month, this looks like it'll be all sorts of fun. Let's go ahead and change topics here. Also at WorkSharpTools.com are links to tutorials, and you've had a couple of them that were very interesting to me. One of them was how to sharpen a serrated knife, which, I'll be honest, has always been a challenge for me. When I have a serrated knife, when it gets dull, I usually just throw it away or garage sale it because I've never been able to figure out how to sharpen it properly.
Yeah, I'll step back, and we think it's very important to be able to teach people how to sharpen knives. Outside of just selling sharpeners, it's a valuable life skill, and so we've made a big investment in making sure that we're teaching people some of these skills. A little bit of a disclaimer about serrated knives. When they're made in the factory, those edges are usually ground in by essentially CNC machines that are grinding in those scallops into that knife. So it's very hard to replicate at home, but there's definitely some techniques and tools you can use to restore a sharp edge. A couple of the tools we make are the Pivot Plus knife sharpener, which is just a $9 or $10 sharpener that has a tapered diamond-coated rod on it. And that rod, it's only 2 inches long, and it starts at maybe 1.5 millimeters thick, and then gets to 4 or 5 millimeters thick at the top of it. And that allows you to fit that diamond rod inside of different sized serrations. So sometimes the larger scallops that you would find on a bread knife are going to be more towards the wider end versus the small ones that you may find in a mixed sized serrated knife on a pocket knife. The goal is to match the angle of the scallop, resting that tapered rod in that groove, and then work it back and forth 6 to 10 times and reestablish that cutting edge and try to refine or recreate the point in between the scallops. And you do that for each scallop along the blade. It can sometimes be a little time intensive, and then you'll be left with a little bit of a burr on the backside of those serrations. Remove that burr either with a fine ceramic or a leather strop by pulling backwards away from that edge, and you'll be left with a much sharper serrated knife.
The things you learn. Didn't even get time to talk about the other subject I want to talk about, how to repair a broken knife tip. That's another knife that I'm usually throwing away or garage sailing when that happens. Mm-hmm. But you can go to WorkSharpTools.com, find the link to that tutorial, along with other ones too, and definitely check out the WorkSharp Quest 2.0. It's one heck of a treasure hunt, all sorts of fun, and you can win some really nice swag in the process. The website again, WorkSharpTools.com, and if you want some of the knife and tool sharpeners from WorkSharp, just look in a quality sporting goods store near you, or, again, go to WorkSharpTools.com. Josh, thanks for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
Thanks, John. I was happy to be here.
Next, it's time for one of our favorite segments.
It's time to talk record fish.
We've got not one but 2 record fish to tell you about this week. The first one is a new state record swordfish caught off the coast of North Carolina. The angler was Gary Carney of Newport. He caught the 504-pound, 8-ounce fish about 55 miles off of Morehead City on August 21st. He was fishing aboard the Willow Bee, captained by his son, Brandon Carney. They were fishing in roughly 1,300 feet deep water when they encountered the sword of a lifetime, according to Carney. Carney's fish measured 104 inches fork length from the tip of the nose to the fork in the tail and had a 53-inch girth, and it was weighed in at EGW Outdoors of Morehead City. The other state record to tell you about, also found on the fishing wire, is a pending Rhode Island state record false albacore. Don't have a lot of information about this except for a photo and a post on the Snug Harbor Marina Facebook page, which shows an unnamed angler with what is billed as the new Rhode Island state record false albie, weighing in at 16.2 pounds, 33 inches long, and a girth of 19.5 inches, caught aboard the Stella Seas on September 13th. We'll hopefully get more information from Rhode Island about this pending record soon. In the meantime, to the Carneys and to this anonymous angler, way to go. Those are some impressive fish.
Congratulations on your new record.
On that note, it's time to wrap things up. Again, I hope you'll enter for a chance to win one of the 3 guided field sharpeners we're giving away from WorkSharp this weekend. I'd like to thank Josh Warren with WorkSharp for making those available. I'd also like to thank our other guests, Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie, who's putting on that expo next month, and Billy Egan with Western Outdoor News, putting on the U.S. Open at Lake Mojave in October. If you need information about either event, the websites again are crappieexpo.com and wonews.com, and go to the tournament page for information about the U.S. Open. With any luck, here's hoping you are blessed in the week ahead, that your health is good, and that you get outside to enjoy some of what September has to offer. After all, it is your country and your outdoors, so get out there and enjoy it.